Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Tuesday evening, unlike when I put up this morning, Monday morning coffee. I got that completely wrong. As you can tell, I was still half asleep this morning. Tuesday evening here, back at work this morning, got there in plenty of time, everything went well, so that was good. But when I was in the office, we had the radio on. I think it was Radio 2, so something like that. But there was a very short segment on about the obesity epidemic. And myself and my colleague were sort of, it wasn't that we were listening because we were on the phone as well, but there was something about, it's only been in the last few years. And it's like, yeah, because that's when the ultra-processed food came in. And it is. And for all you can say, yes, we should be exercising more, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. Best will in the world. In days of old, in the 60s and 70s, for many people, there was still a parent at home who did the cooking and the cleaning, etc. Mainly mum. 90-odd% of the time mum, I would think, or an older sibling or something. And most of the meals were home cooked. Now, since 70s, I think, when we started getting the things, the more processed foods. And there's been a lot of talk of how they are changed, things that are added to make you want more of them. And people have done, there's been a few places, a couple of TV programs and stuff, where they've had someone really healthy start eating unhealthy foods, like eating the processed food. And they're like, I just want more of it. I just want more. I'm hungry again. And this is because of the way the food's made. And that, as far as I'm concerned, has had a huge impact on the obesity epidemic. Obviously, there's a lot of jobs that are more desk-bound than there used to be, etc., etc. You have people who are unemployed. But the type of food we eat, I think, has a huge impact. And obviously, it's noticeable in me. I mean, I've lost weight since I've started eating more healthily. Work colleagues have done the same. There's a few people I've spoken to recently who, instead of going on Weight Watchers or Slimming World or Jane Plan or whatever the advertised diets are, this diet industry, they've just started making their own food. Making their own meals, making their own chicken nuggets, making their own fish and chips, and also making more wholesome homemade food. And it's made a huge difference. So for all the government is saying, we need to have measures in place to make people less obese, maybe start teaching the kids again at school how to cook properly. And maybe start putting limits on how processed food can be. That's my thought for today. Because, as I say, I've seen the difference it's made to myself, to Kathleen, to work colleagues, to friends and family. And as I say, looking back historically, the big obesity rise in the UK came with the more processed food, which of course came with both parents being out to work. So something that was fast and easy was what was used. And I know, I've done it. I fed Kathleen some real rubbish when she was younger, just for speed. When you finish work in Perth and you're coming back home to pick up your child from the childminder, so you're getting home about 6 o'clock. You want something fast. And especially when Kathleen was younger, at the weekends, I didn't prep food as such. I took Kathleen out. We went and did stuff because I wasn't with her all week. And that made a big difference to what we ate. So, yeah, not so much medication or getting told off or whatever, more the ability to change your lifestyle. Making it easier for people to change their lifestyle by teaching them younger how to cook. Making sure they have the availability of time. I think that would make a difference. So, yeah, that's my tuppence worth for today. So now I'm going to have my cup of tea and a couple of my homemade flapjacks. Catch you later.